Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world today. We're getting our Final Fantasy XIV stream started. We'll be doing crafting today, getting our Stormblood crafting quests worked on. We certainly won't complete them all, I'm sure, but that's what we'll be working on today. So I invite you to join me while we go through the stories for each of the crafting quests today. We left off with our Armorer's quest 2 days ago, so we'll pick back up on that one today. Anyways, how are you doing today? I hope everything's going all right for you. Let us know down in the comments what's going on with you if you'd like. Of course, if you'd prefer to just lurk and enjoy the game and the atmosphere with us, by all means do that too. We're happy to have you here. Lanster should have arrived on far eastern shores by now, but I've heard not a word from the old Aurochs. There was no news of storms or ships lost at sea, so I must assume he made it to Kugane. Have you been there yourself? Should you happen to have business on that side of the world, I'd consider it a favor if you could look in on him for me. Personality aside, Blanster is one of our best artisans, and losing him to some mishap would be a terrible blow. For the guild, of course. And we need to search for Blanster in Kugane. Well, he's easy enough to find, it looks like. Anne! Ira Gott's beard, I thought you looked familiar. Finanza sent you to spy on me, did she? I arrived a while ago, truth be told, but this bloody statue caught me eye and refused to let go. Just look at the armor on that bloke. You don't see naught like that in Eorzea. There we go. Get a look at him. Well, I'd best not stand around gawping all day. I need to find a smithy and see if they're willing to teach an old hand like me. Here, do you want to come along and help look then? Good lass. The ship's captain told me there's an artisan's district near Pier 1, so let's try there first. Judging by the heat and the noise, I'd say we've come to the right place. Right, well, there's naught to be gained by being shy. Begging your pardon, sir, but who might be the master of this forge? I've traveled here from Eorzea with a mind to learning your style of armorsmithing. Well, well, in all my years never have I had a foreigner seek an apprenticeship at my anvil. Pray, tell me more of your aspirations. Hang on, so you're the master of this place then? So the fates have decreed. I am Fugetsu, Kokajia's humble proprietor and chief armorer. Oh, pleased to meet you. The name's Blandster. I'm an armorer from Limsa, the city where I learned me craft. See, I was taken by the striking design of the helms your countryman was giving out on Heavenstern and reckoned that I'd like to study with the artisan what crafted them. I asked about, and the answer sent me here to Kugane. Ah, the Heavenstern helmets. If you seek the man who forged those pieces, then you need look no further. Was there some particular aspect of the design that drew your attention? Those were yours then. Bugger me, that was easy. To answer your question, I've been feeling that my own work has fallen into a bit of a rut, and the distinct personality of them helms is exactly what I've been missing. The search for one's own style can certainly be a trial. Very well, I should be glad to aid you in finding yours. You will? Thank you, sir. Ordinarily, I teach but one student at a time, but it will be a refreshing challenge to instruct the two of you together. I look forward to the experience. Before we begin, however, I would gauge your skills as artisans. Would you craft for me a set of quality Eorzean armor? My apprentice, Unru, will provide you with the necessary materials. Present your work to me when you are finished. I guess he thought you was here for the same reason as me. But you can't pass up this chance, Anne. We can learn the secrets of Far Eastern armorsmithing side by side. Sure, why not? Alright, let's see what we can get here. Master Fugetsu explained to me your task. If you would tell me the type of armor you plan to forge, then I shall requisition the appropriate metals from our stores. Ah, a suit of mail, is it? I believe these materials should suffice, but do not hesitate to request more should you find them lacking. Once the armor is complete, you may present it directly to Master Fugetsu. I pray sincerely for your success. A junior apprentice would be most welcome at the forge. Alright, so we'll use those materials to make our item. Some paladin mail. Alright, let's do a test here and make sure we've got our ducks in a row here. Doing that backwards up there. I just need that one. Yeah. Well, that would be easy if we had that when we do it. Yeah, that made it very easy. Well, anyways, I'm sure we can knock this one out without too much issue, I believe. Alright, let's do it. And we'll do this first so that we save a step on the waste not to. Oh wow, hit that excellent. Thank you, thank you. And that was easy peasy. That's just some paladin mail here, Fugetsu. I trust our materials were sufficient for the task. Yes, they were. Thank you, Master Fugetsu. And here's your armor. A fine piece. You have shown considerable skill in working this amount of detail into such a durable alloy. Though the techniques you employ are not the same as ours, your experience as an artisan is readily apparent. I am curious to see how you will fare with our traditional methods. But whilst I am eager to begin your instruction, I am afraid an important commission must take precedence. Pray, use this time to familiarize yourself with the local materials, and I shall inform you when your lessons are to commence. Seems we both managed to impress Master Fugetsu, eh? We've got a foot in the door, but you know as well as I do that that was the easy part. They do things different over here, and we'll be starting from the bottom. But if that difference is what brings out the character in me crafting, then it'll be worth the climb to the top. Oh, and don't you worry none about Hananza. I'll be sending her a letter explaining what we're up to. Neither one of us wants to hear her griping that she thought we was dead or something. Look at us, Anne. Seems only yesterday we was rivals, and now here we are, taking an apprenticeship together. Fyra crafts in mysterious ways, eh? Yes, and you just happen to have some crafting gear in your pocket. Let's see. We got the shoes and the body piece. Control or craftsmanship? Control or craftsmanship? Nah. Well, that one's got both. The other one's got some CP on the gloves. And we'll take the pants for now, I guess. We'll get the gloves in the next one. And we got prudent touch. Alright, well let's see. Those went to our armory chest. Get those equipped. Ooh, some plaid pants. Alright, well let's do goldsmith next then. We should do some repairs too. And I think I've got some Adventure Squadron stuff to do here. They've been sitting there probably for weeks without being doing anything. Alright, I think we got a new recruit too. Squadron's performing well. Oh, okay, I just sent them over here on the... We had that going, so they finished that one day, a week or two ago probably. And we've got, what, an Arcanist. I don't need an Arcanist. And there's nobody else there. Alright, let's see. What we got for squadron missions? We could do a level 20, maybe a 25. Anybody boosted to 25? Oh, there's a 27. Oh, we could try it. Send them off, maybe they'll be successful. And let's see, we need to just do comprehensive for now, I guess. Level up those other folks a few. Alright, goody goody. And do a free teleport since I'm lazy. And I will go stop off at the mender here for just a moment. let's get our goldsmith quest on the way. Glad tidings, Anne. The Alamegan Resistance has sent word that all is in readiness at Ralgar's Reach for the Artisan School. The time has come for you and Miss Emeloth to strike out for Garabania, there to cultivate a new generation of goldsmiths. Though I am not directly involved, the mere thought of the venture sets my heart aflutter. Now then, your deputy awaits you at Spineless Basin, where I believe you first met your students. Pray, see to your preparations and join her there at your earliest convenience. We will step outside then and see what's going on with them. There they are. Hello, Emeloth. Good morning to you, Anne. You just missed our apprentices. They struck out for Ralgar's Reach but moments ago. A shame you couldn't see their stunned faces when I told them that the school was established under the patronage of the Sultana herself. Nay, they had no idea who their benefactor is. Doubtless they assumed the coin was publicly sourced, but the seventh hell would freeze over before Ul'dah becomes so charitable. The truth is, Her Grace is personally bearing all expenses. However, she desires no credit for it, and wishes instead to keep the initiative quiet. And so, when the call went out for apprentices, nary a mention was made of her involvement. I can only imagine how the three will react when they learn that Her Grace's contribution includes her lady mother's crown. Speaking of the crown, I have it in my safekeeping. Let us see it safely to Ralgar's Reach, where our eager apprentices await. Shall we then? Yes, indeed. Let's head over there. There you are, Anne. Upon arriving, I was surprised to learn that yours is already an established name in these parts. It makes it all the more compelling that Her Grace would name you for the role. But without further ado, may I introduce you to Kanchana, our liaison with the Resistance. Greetings, and welcome to Ralgar's Reach. We Ananta love accessories. Love to make and to wear them. The goldsmithing of your kind is most intriguing, and I look forward to observing your techniques. But tell me, this crown you have brought, such a precious thing, yet you mean to take it apart for its stones? Yeah, it belonged to the Sultana's mother and is worth a fortune, and to be honest, the idea of working on it frightens me. Let us strive to be worthy of it. The crown is the symbol of the Sultana's faith in us. As the schoolmaster says, we must strive to be worthy of that faith. It is a tradition among nobles to bequeath gemstones unto those nearest and dearest to them, and to Her Grace the people of Eorzea are as her children. So let us receive the stones with thanks, and ensure that they serve a good cause, that which will lead to a better future for Alamegans, as is Her Grace's will. So, that is the way of it. Very well, I shall show you the space we have set aside for use by the Artisan's School. But I must ask, is that to be your actual name? It strikes me as somewhat generic. Hard to argue with that. If we're going to be selling our wares eventually, I reckon we need a catchier name to slap on them. Just put it on there. Right, something less a school and more a workshop-like. The Crown Gemworks. You know, in honor of the Sultana. I believe this is a fine idea, and that is a fine name. What say you, schoolmaster? It's official then. From this moment forth, the Crown Gemworks is in operation. Kanchana, pray lead the way. Schoolmaster, to begin with, may I suggest you have a word with each of the apprentices? It would serve to build rapport, and you would stand to learn about them. Okay. So I can't learn about them right here. I have to go somewhere else. Okay. We'll walk somewhere else then to learn about them. Oh, we should unlock this maybe, or no? Well met, adventurer. My name's Galliena, and I work at the House of Splendors for my Aunt Rowena. Following her successful expansion into Idleshire and the 3 city-states, she's decided to bring her operations here to Ralgar's Reach. Our presence here serves to aid the recovery effort, creating jobs for refugees and stimulating the economy. With your skills, you would be of great help to us. And of course, if you have any collectibles, I'd be happy to take them off your hands in exchange for scripts. With locations realm-wide, it has never been easier to do business with the House of Splendors. That's great. So, why did that? Okay. I heard from Aunt Rowena that you're quite the artisan. If that's true, I've got a proposition for you. As I mentioned before, we like to think that our relationships with the people of the Reach is mutually beneficial. We create jobs and opportunities for people to live better lives. Perhaps you know Minago, one of the leaders of the Resistance. She not only agrees with what I said, but has even taken a personal interest in the collectibles trade. But while I'm sure she's a brilliant soldier with a head for tactics, the collectibles market is an altogether different battlefield. Still, with the help of a few good crafters and gatherers, I'm sure she'll find her footing in no time. That's where you come in. If you want to, that is. Go and see her if you're interested, or don't. Okay, so we'll be doing unlock the collectibles over there. Hey, Hal. Me? I never done no crafting before. Hey, Lily, welcome. Good to see you. Yeah, we're doing our crafting here. We've got the armor done just a little while ago. We're doing goldsmithing here, or at least level 63s. Anyways, working on them. Me? I never done no crafting before, and it's all I can do to remember the basics. Ah, but Miss Emeloth says I've got a sense for working stone. That's my mining experience talking, I reckon. A glance in, I can tell a stone's character, its hardness, and all that. Can't say the same when it comes to metal, though. I've dug up ore to be sure, but the stuff what comes to us ain't ore no more. A stone don't change like that. How's it going with you today, Lily? Hello there, Chief. Just working on the basics at the moment. Having been a smithy, the metal side of things comes pretty natural to me, but cutting and polishing stones, well, that's a whole new world. I can't for the life of me tell what's good and what's bad. Haven't seen enough finished products, I suppose. Schoolmaster, so it's true what Miss Emeloth says, and you know all our warriors here and fought with them besides? Wow, to think that your skilled hands can create magnificent works of art as well as wreak bloody havoc. You are a truly versatile schoolmaster, and I'm honored to be your pupil. But most of all, I'm honored I am that Her Grace would... And that doesn't sound right to me. I'm honored that Her Grace would entrust us with her crown, but a little nervous as well because I can be clumsy sometimes, and I'll have to take extra care that my hands don't slip. And it sounds like very awkward grammar there. You spoken with our apprentices? How do they fare? I see. Mine own impressions are much the same as yours. Kabika shows promise. Her time at a jewelry shop has instilled her with artistic sense, and she has zeal in abundance. The challenge will be the two brothers. Guido works metal like a veteran, but stone like a layman. Hal, meanwhile, is the opposite, brilliant with stone, but lackluster with metal. A goldsmith proficient in only one area is no goldsmith at all, and I've a mind to have them overcome their weaknesses ere I let them move on to the next step. But what say you, schoolmaster? You're good, done some housework, walked the dog, and now you can game the day away. There you go. All right. Well, I hope you enjoy yourself doing that. Very nice. Let's cultivate their strengths first. Oh, before addressing weaknesses, you would first cultivate strengths. Mayhap there is wisdom in this. At this early stage, a focus on shortcomings is liable to undermine motivation. With this in mind, I have a proposal. We prepare a sample product which our apprentices will work together to reproduce to the best of their abilities. The point is to create something from beginning to end, and to that end, we will have each person take charge of the area in which he or she excels. This exercise will give them not only a sense of satisfaction, but also a better understanding of each aspect of our craft in context. My thanks, schoolmaster. Such an idea would not have occurred to me without your input. Now, on the question of a sample, I believe that it is best made by your hands. The quality would surpass aught I could hope to produce, and the knowledge that it came from you would serve to inspire our apprentices. As for the subject, yes, a silver ring should pose a suitable challenge, something adorned with a beautiful lapis lazuli from Her Grace's crown. Here we go. Here are some materials to get you started. Should you require more, you need but ask Kanchana. All right. So let's see here. And do a test just to make sure my new gear didn't mess me up any here. Probably not. Yeah. Just one with veneration will get us real close there. All right, let's do it. There's an excellent. I'm not going to worry about that. Good sample ring. Our apprentices keenly await their task, Anne. May I ask if the ring is ready? You may ask and you may receive. Beauregard's beard, such an immaculately balanced ring, and the exquisite texture, each hammer stroke lovingly measured. I had expected to be impressed, but I find myself in utter awe. This ring is the very embodiment of perfection, a worthy vessel for the Sultana's faith and goodwill. 'Tis the simplest articles that separate masters from middling craftsmen. I wonder if our aspiring young goldsmiths will be able to appreciate the difference. Everyone, pray gather around. For your next task, we will have you make a simple ring. Schoolmaster Adventurer has personally crafted a sample for your reference. Oh, there's no way I could possibly make something this fine. Not within my lifetime, and definitely not today. Such refreshing candor, and a sentiment I can well appreciate. Though I am no expert, 'tis plain that this is the work of a true master. And so it is, but be not daunted, my apprentices, for we neither ask nor expect a master's quality of you yet. Nay, your goal is to simply produce a finished product, and you needn't give thought beyond that. There I was thinking I was handy with metal, but this is taking it to another level. I hear you. I thought the gem was already perfect when it was on the crown, but now it's more perfect. What tiny warps there was on the surface are all gone. Not that I noticed them before. Might be as we're better at some things than we are at others, but it's all the same next to what the schoolmaster can do. Right. The goal's so far away it doesn't seem to matter where we start from and what our strengths and weaknesses are. Rest assured, your strengths are nothing to look down upon, and we shall draw upon them first of all. As such, the work will be delegated as follows. Guido will be responsible for fashioning the band, Hal will cut and polish the stone, and last but not least, Kabiko will take charge of the initial design and finishing touches. Doubt not that the time will come when you strive for mastery in all aspects of goldsmithing, but to begin with, we want you to focus on cultivating your individual strengths and bid you join them together now to create your very first finished product. Yes, miss. We appreciate you taking the time to craft such an amazing sample, especially for us, and we promise to do our very best. The schoolmaster and I have every confidence that you will. Remember, this workshop is yours and everything here is at your disposal, but should you have any further needs or questions, do not hesitate to come to us.
Yeah.
The change in their bearing was fairly palpable, was it not? To behold your ring was to gaze up at the true heights of our craft, and it instilled them with newfound determination. I look forward to seeing how they rise to the challenge. Indeed. All right, now we can get those hand pieces. Alright, let's put those on everybody. That was it, I think. Yep. Alright, next up would be the leather worker. Head over to Gridania. Get that underway. Ah, number 72. Ready for work, I see. Wonderful. Not long ago, I was able to secure a location for our exhibition of animal mounts, a small clearing near the Leatherworkers Guild. Would that we had a more prominent location, but no matter. Considering the nature of our work and its purpose, the Leatherworkers Guild will do nicely. More importantly, I have selected our first specimen for mounting, the majestic Dalmal. This is no ordinary Dalmal we are looking for, mind you. What we seek is the elusive Hengr Dalmal in the Sea of Clouds. To the untrained eye, they are indistinguishable from your average Dalmal. Upon closer inspection, however, you will find that they have hackles along their backs which can appear quite pronounced when they are startled. As their numbers continue to dwindle, finding an ideal specimen will prove difficult. And the last thing we need is to exacerbate the problem of their declining population by killing one. No, we will need to find a Dalmal that has recently passed on. This will require a skilled hunter, one familiar with the terrain. You wouldn't happen to know of such a person, would you? The Vanu, obviously. Why would you know of the Vanu? Never mind. If you believe you can convince them to assist us, I suppose it is worth a try. We must make for XIV at once, where you will arrange an audience with their people. Let us be off. Alright, let's go to XIV. There you are, number 72. What have I told you about keeping me waiting? You must hurry and introduce me. And not to some piddling merchant or villager. I will settle for nothing short of their village elder. Yes, I should think it the ideal way to ensure our needs are met swiftly and without incident. I already want to smack them. These Netherlings seek Dalmals of Hengr. Say no more. Zundu are honored to repay kindness of the great warrior who defeated the White. Excuse me for interrupting, but I could not help but notice your huts appear to be made using the bones of Dalmals. Yes, Zundu use Dalmals for many things. Their meat fills our bellies, their skin covers our backs, and as Netherling says, their bones build our homes. Quite impressive. It is not often I see game hunted and put to use so thoroughly. To take a life is to bear great responsibility. Nothing can be wasted. To ask for a Dalmal so rare, we trust you understand this. To find fresh remains is no easy task. I will leave this to Sanu Vanu. He is our greatest hunter. You may wait here while he finds the Dalmal you seek. Okay. I go find Dalmal. Thank you, Sonu Vanu. Your kindness this day will be remembered for generations to come. Pardon me, Miss Ataloon, but I'm awfully glad you've gone to so much trouble to get a Dalmal. Really, I am. It's just... well, I've never actually seen a live Dalmal before, and... You've never seen a Dalmal before? By the 12, how do you expect to fashion a suitable mannequin if you've never seen them for yourself? Dalmals of Hengr are scarce, but all look very similar. If Netherlings would see Dalmals, you needn't travel far. Then it's settled then. Number 72. Take number 71 to go and see the Dalmals. From their long, elegant necks down to their hooves, he must become intimately familiar with their carriage. To the southeast of Oxundu they graze in great numbers. May zephyr winds carry you safely. Thanks. I will go ride the zephyr winds. Hey, look at me riding the zephyr winds. Oops, what happened here? Wow, that's weird. My auxiliary screen just blacked out for a bit. I'm not sure what's going on. I hope Windows isn't trying to update something. It better not be. Thought I had all that turned off. Alright. There they are. Can you see them? We have to be sure to get a good look. Miss Ataloon said we have to inspect every ilm of them. And we'll search our surroundings for Dalmals and look at them here. That looks like a likely candidate. I can zoom in there. There we go. Hello. Hello, Dalmal. Wow, this is much better than any picture. Look at its neck. Gosh, how am I supposed to make a model that supports something that long? Alright, I think I have an idea of what to do. The neck may prove difficult, though. Let's head back to Miss Ataluna. And I guess we can just port back there. By number 71's look of excitement, I would assume the two of you observed the Dalmals without incident. The Vanu have brought us a fine specimen. The hackles along its back and the divide of its hooves are unmistakable. This is indeed a Hanger Dalmal. And by the condition of the body, it would seem its passing was not long ago. While the loss of any life is always a tragedy, let us take solace in the fact its life ended peacefully. I know not what great deeds you have done that warrant such generosity, but I should hope your work on our Dalmal mount will warrant the same praise. I've called for an airship to come and retrieve the Dalmal, though I fear it cannot carry us all. You adventurers often use aetherites for travel, yes? While we see to the Dalmal's delivery, pray use that aetherite to return, and do not try to take too long this time. We shall wait for you at the clearing near the Leatherworkers Guild. Number 71 should be finished preparing the Dalmal's pelt by the time you arrive. Fair enough. Let's head back there then. Alright, there we go. Let's see here. Down there. Finally, you're here. As promised, the Dalmal's pelt is ready for you. If you are as skilled as Giva claims, you should have no trouble turning this into a resplendent cape of the highest quality. And please be careful with that pelt. I will not stand to see the Vanu's hard work go to waste. I would rather not bother them for want of another Dalmal so rare. When you have finished, deliver it to number 71. Together with his mannequin, we shall have the finest mount the realm has ever seen. Alright, so we will craft one of those. Large Dalmal cape. Let's go for it. There's a bonus. How about that? My mannequin is going to look great with that cape. I just know it. Well, here's a large Dalmal cape. This is amazing! My skins are usually full of holes after removing all the fat. You've even kept all the coarse hair on the back. Miss Ataloon was right to hire you. It is up to you now to see our mount is completed. Number 72, I would ask you to observe his work. It should prove an educational experience. I'm not sure there's much to learn from watching me, but I'll do what I can. Phew, it's done. Piecing it together was harder than I thought. Then again, I've never made a mount this big before. Good thing I remembered what the Vanu said about Dalmal bones back at Oxundu. They came in handy when I was working on the neck. I see. Meeting with the Vanu was more beneficial to our work than I could have hoped. I couldn't have finished without Anne, though. There's no way I could fit a cape that big on the mannequin by myself. Nevertheless, this is an excellent start to our collection. Considering Dalmalskin products have gained popularity here in Gridania, this is certain to draw the people's attention to our cause. That said, your work is far from finished, my dear assistant. Before we set to work on our next mount, however, I would gauge reactions to our first creation. In the interim, pray reflect on what we've done thus far and see if there is aught you can do to refine your skills. Sounds good. We got all the pieces. We don't have a hat piece, which we could make, but we won't be at this level for long enough to worry about it, I think. Or to need it, really. All right. And a new tool for leather. And moving on to Reaver. Get there. There we go. Hey, Big Rose. Ah, Anne, you must see the shipment of silks that just arrived from our new friends from across the Ruby Sea. Simply exquisite, if I do say so myself. I can scarcely wait to see what wonders our weavers might work with them. But before that, there is a more important task at hand. The package also contained a letter from Daitenya, personally requesting your presence in Kugane to oversee a series of commissions that, in Master Keime's own words, could forever shape the fashion trends of our nation. A rather unusual request, but one that speaks to the importance of the client and Master Keime's own uncompromising devotion to the quality of his wares. I can see no reason to refuse. It will, needless to say, entail a long and wearying journey, but you wouldn't think of turning down an opportunity to study the fashions of the Far East and to curry favor with a valuable business partner in the process, would you? Of course you wouldn't. I look forward to seeing what wonders you might work with your needle the next time we meet. Godspeed, and do convey my regards to Master Kame. Alright, we will go base ourselves in Kugane as a weaver. We got carpenter, armor, and weaver over there. Here it is. Rakuza district. Yo, Kame. Mistress Adventurer, it is a pleasure and an honor to welcome you to Kugane. I trust that your journey was not an unpleasant one. Allow me to explain why I have summoned you all the way to these shores. Mayhap you remember that most exquisite Ishgardian bustle we saw at the ball in Ul'dah. I would commission from you a similar garment that I might gift it to a certain Geiko who has struck my fancy. Ah, but forgive me, our culture and tongue are still unfamiliar to you, no doubt. Trained in the traditional arts of song and dance, the women we call Geiko entertain at feasts, banquets, and the like. You might think of them as akin to the dancing girls of your land, albeit clad in more modest dress. Oh, you tried to get the relic tool for carpenter, but the gear I need is so expensive that I decided to just level goldsmithing and mining from level 1 to max to save the gil. Yeah, I'm trying to imagine. Let's see, what is that? The relic tool for carpenter. Is that for a relic tool? Where do you get that from? I'm trying to remember what the relic tools are and where you get those. Or you're talking about the max level 90 tool or something, or let's see. The gear you need to make it, or was it the gear that you needed to make it that was so expensive, or I wonder. Oh, Splendorous tools. Yeah, I haven't even looked at those. I don't know anything about those. Okay, interesting. Yeah, saving the gil. Yeah, I'm all about saving gil. Better gear to craft the quest items. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I usually just do collectibles and get the highest level collectibles. Sometimes I'll just do collectibles to make sure I get myself up to like the next tier, like level 70 or 80 or 90. And then just buy the purple gear, do some purple collectibles and get the purple crafter's gear for those. That seems to push me through okay. Up through each level. That's what I'm planning to do here also. Once I get everybody leveled up to 70, I'll go ahead and do enough collectibles and use collectibles as leveling up too, to get me to the next quest level if I need to. See, with your current gear, the collectability is too low, but each piece of the in-game gear costs 200 to 500k. Oh yeah, that is costly, isn't it? Yeah, I would definitely do whatever I can so that I could craft whatever I needed rather than buy that. No doubt. Yeah, that sounds like that would be expensive real fast. Yeah, of course, look at, I don't know, maybe you could try melding some craftsmanship and control into some of your pieces if they'll take those, and or at least some CP if you've got a good macro that can do it, if you had enough CP or something like that too, something along those lines maybe. I don't know, just spitballing here. But yeah, those would be some things I would look at more than likely, trying to get the gear. you wanted to level all crafting and gathering jobs eventually, so this is a good motivation. Sure, yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I like having a goal like that. I know where I want to go, and I'll try to figure out, all right, what do I have to do next to get there? Yeah, that's one thing I do like about this game, at least the crafting and gathering aspect. Plan my next step and what I need to do to get there. You might think of them as akin to the dancing girls of your land, albeit clad in more modest dress. It is a popular pastime among the moneyed class of Kugane to seek out a young Mako, as Geiko in training are known, and become her patron, lending her whatever support one might. Seeing a faltering child blossom into a beautiful flower, and knowing that you played a part in her journey, is a pleasure like none other. I am pleased to say that a particular Mako, whom I took under my wing some time ago, has formally been promoted to the position of Geiko. At first, I thought to present her with the finest kimono from my own stock, but where would be the romance in that? No, to truly do justice to the occasion, I would gift her with a dress fashioned by one of Eorzea's most renowned weavers. That would be you, Mistress Adventurer. This is a new age, my friend, and it is past time that the people of Kugane open their eyes and hearts to the culture and customs of the West. Where is it written that my precious butterfly cannot perform a Hingan dance clad in Ishgardian silks? Nowhere, I say. As a fellow aesthete, surely you agree. Now, I would have you speak to the girl in question that you might best tailor your work to both her form and her needs. You will find her in Sanjo Hanamachi, the flower district, as one might say in your tongue, where she and her fellow Geiko reside. Alright, sounds like a plan. Yes, we can go. Make sure I've got my mouse focused over here. Hello, Kotocho. Mistress Adventurer, Master Kame said he would call for you, but I did not believe you would come. You have proven me wrong, and for this I am grateful. I am Kotocho. Do not speak of this with Master Kame, but in truth, commissioning from you a dress in the Ishgardian tradition was not his idea, but my own. To make a name for oneself here in the Hanamachi, mere skill at song and dance will not suffice. No, one must possess a unique quality, something to catch the eye of the audience, to stand above and distinguish oneself from the shrubs and the weeds. Master Kame was quite taken with my idea. I would have been content with the dress alone, but he insisted on bringing you here in person, that you might tailor it especially to me. You do us both a great honor, and for this we thank you. I have but two simple requests. The bustle should be of the same color as the kimono I now wear, with a pattern evoking the wings of a butterfly. That is the meaning of my name, you see, a name given to me for my ephemeral beauty. Master Kame will furnish you with the material you require. It is said that a Geiko's kimono is as a suit of armor is to a samurai, and let me assure you that the battles fought here in the Hanamachi are as fierce as those fought on any battlefield. The dress you fashion for me will be my armor. I place my very life in your hands. Educational, I guess? Interesting. You have spoken with Kotocho, I presume? What manner of dress did my butterfly request of you? Frills akin to a butterfly's wings. A most inspired idea, if I do say so myself. Kotocho is an ambitious girl and most particular about the garments she wears. It is no small task, but I have full confidence in your ability to fashion a dress that will help her rise above the crowd. Needless to say, Daitenya is honored to provide you with any materials you require free of charge. You need but speak to my man Yagiri here and inform him of your needs. Hey, Yagiri. Daitenya welcomes you, honored guests. I am Yagiri. The young master has instructed me to provide you with the materials you require for his butterfly's bustle. I do believe this should suffice. Yeah, gimme. The young master has imported some of the finest Wuldan silks especially for this occasion. Should your work and Kotocho's dancing prowess capture the public eye, he believes that a new wind will blow in Kugane, so to speak. It is his dream to see the girl become the face of a new age of aesthetic ideals. That said, not all approve of the young master's aspirations. When he first declared his intentions to deal in Eorzean fabrics and fashions, the reaction from some of Kugane's more conservative artisans and merchants was far from encouraging. Still, Master Kame will not be deterred in his vision, and those of us who share his sensibilities would have it no other way. May the Kami guide your needle that Daitenya might usher in a new era in Hingashi. Should you require additional fabrics, you need but say the word. Okay. And let's make it. The job is done, you say? Splendid! My heart has not stopped pounding since you began work. You must show me what you have wrought before it bursts. Here's an elegant bustle. High quality, no less. Remarkable! Why, it is so light and gossamer it seems about to take flight. I would have Kotocho try it on at once. Yagiri, send a messenger to the Hanamachi with all haste. What say you, young master? Does it suit me? Beyond my wildest dreams, my dearest Kotocho, the inimitable elegance of Ishgardian Countess combined with the fragile grace of a fluttering butterfly, you shimmer and shine with the beauty of two worlds brought together as one. Wear this dress at your first public appearance as a geiko, and all in attendance will lose themselves in rapturous bliss. I am certain of it. You are most kind, young master. I feared that such extravagant attire might not suit me, but my fears are no more. I am honored to begin my new life as a geiko with your most exquisite creation, Mistress Adventurer. To the both of you, this I promise, I will not let your generous gift go to waste. Yes, Kotochu shall spread her wings and fly high, ushering in the winds of change to Kugane. Awesome, super duper. To the inventory. Yep, time to get rid of some other stuff here. Let's see, not used. Didn't mean to do that. Alright, then we have the tools down there. Oh, that's secondary tool. I've got my secondary tools filled up too. Okay, well let's see here. We could desynth those as well. Do some desynthing. Alright, well that should do it then. Let me get that equipped. And on to Alchemist. There you are, my dutiful pupil. I have been to the burial ground and examined that coffin of which you spoke, and yes, I wholeheartedly agree with you. A most strange phenomenon indeed is being visited upon the remains of that young lady. There are the marks of a blunt trauma about her skull. There are not the slightest signs of decomposition. There is a complete absence of the onset of rigor mortis. There is much and more that baffles science here, but what interests me most of all were the signs that indicate she was the subject of a most fell and forbidden practice. It would be both premature and fallacious to proclaim this woman still among the living, but I would concede with some degree of confidence that she was the target of an attempted resurrection. Never would I have thought others so inclined as myself to toy with the taboo. Ah, yes, now I recall. I once heard tell of a great thaumaturge of the Order of Naldthal who was rumored to have dabbled in magic sinister and sable, magic that sought to undo the natural law. I wonder, could those rumors allude to this same attempted resurrection we are seeing? Hear me now, my ever-capable assistant. You must travel to the Thaumaturges Guild and there speak with a priest by the name of Yayaroku. Have it from his mouth and his alone, whatever truth there may be to these rumors. I have the most sneaking of suspicions they may be inextricably linked to our curious corpse. Yes, by all means, let's run over there. Hello there. Have you come to offer prayers to Naldthal? Or perhaps you wish to give alms to our order? A great thaumaturge once in our ranks, one who dabbled in the taboo, you say? Ah, and by taboo I gather you are referring to the art of resurrection, are you not? I am afraid it is just as you say, those arts are taboo. They are forbidden to be practiced by the hands of mere man. But yes, now that you mention this, I do recall one such thaumaturge. He was with us some time ago and was obsessed with discovering the very origins of life. His zeal was unmatched and drove him to explore those darkest arts when the answers he sought could not be found elsewhere. But for the life of me, I cannot remember his name. You must forgive me, my memory is not what it once was. Perhaps some alchemical potion or potable would serve to clear the cobwebs from my aging mind. I must warn you, however, I have no palate for bitter things, but fear not. I wager Severian of the Alchemists Guild would know best how to mix an intellectuary agreeable with the sweet-toothed Lalafell such as myself. So, back to Mr. Severian. Come then, speak. What insights did Yayaroku have to share? Well, he needs something to drink. He asked for medicine in exchange for his knowledge? Very well, then he will have exactly what he desires. We will concoct for our little friend an intellectuary so sweet he can count himself lucky if he is ever able to taste bitterness again. Ooh, training complete. Surely a sweetened intellectuary will prove no difficult task for one of your alchemical abilities. You need only add a healthy dose of an electuary such as birch syrup to the normal components. I dare say the sweetness will be enough to rot the teeth from his very mouth. Here's some stuff. Your task is before you. Mix the intellectuary, take it to Yayaroku, and have from him whatever information he has to give. And see to it you do not become forgetful before you report your findings to me. Okay. I truly am sorry to trouble you with such a childish request. I pray a sweetened intellectuary is within your means to procure. Indeed it is. Here it is. Excuse me. Is this the intellectuary you've prepared? Made to order just for me? I am most grateful. Delicious. You certainly have succeeded in erasing any notes of bitterness. Well done. Yes, yes, yes. I feel the cobwebs clearing already. Forgive me, I spoke a lie when I said I could not recall the name of the thaumaturge you asked of. I simply wanted nothing more than to try an intellectuary and thought the opportunity too ripe to not pick. And now, out of guilt, I will tell you all that I know. The man of whom you speak is none other than our former guildmaster, Mumuepo. Before the calamity, he poured himself into studies of life's origins, and his appetite for knowledge was voracious and insatiable. I have heard rumors myself that he came to be in possession of an enchanted item called Heartstrike, a blade fabled to house the power to bring the dead back to life. I know not if Mumuepo ever dared use the blade to attempt a resurrection, but I can tell you that he was stripped of his titles and privileges for countless crimes. Under normal circumstances, we would not consent to such a blatant overreach, but the Sultana was adamant, and the evidence was damning. But back to the blade. Around the same time he was said to have obtained Heartstrike, he purchased for himself interment and funeral rites at Eralig's burial chamber. To this day, there are those in these halls who whisper that perhaps the coffin he purchased contains the remains of some poor soul who found themselves the victim of his perverse experimentations with death and life. Of course, I myself believe no such thing, but if you have cause for concern, I suggest you visit Eralig's burial chamber. You will need to speak with Edgitha before you are permitted to examine the remains interred there under Mumuepo's care. Yeah, welcome to my Final Fantasy XIV stream. Come for the story, but stay for all the bad pronunciations. You wish to examine the coffin in the charge of Mumuepo, and do you have his consent to do so? I think so. Maybe, maybe not. Then I'm afraid I cannot permit it. Oh, okay. Only the holder of the burial rites and relatives of the deceased are given leave to disturb these coffins. If you have not the blessings of either, then be gone from this place. Okay. We'll go find out from Severian what we can do then. Well, if it isn't my intrepid aide, pray tell, what were you able to learn from Yayaroku? I see. So, it is looking ever more likely that the taboo practiced by Mumuepo was indeed that of resurrecting the dead. And now we know of this foul instrument as well, this Heartstrike. I confess, when I myself first looked into the magic of life and death some years ago, I heard tales of an enchanted blade by that name. But by the gods, never would I have thought it to truly exist. It can be no more coincidence that Mumuepo purchased interment rights under the same moon he discovered the blade. I now have very little doubt he meant to use Heartstrike to resurrect whomever he buried there. After all, you must have the dead before you can bring back the dead. This may very well mean the corpse Mumuepo put to rest in Eralig's burial chamber is the victim of an attempted resurrection. We cannot but investigate this further. Yet I know the protocols of that hallowed place. The keeper of the burial rites and family alone are allowed to pry open those coffins. Very well. I will request a meeting with Mumuepo. I mean to ask everything there is to know about this heart strike, and will prostrate myself if I must to acquire his leave to further examine the sarcophagus in his charge. You seem shocked. Does it surprise you to see me take the initiative in such matters? I beg you, do not misinterpret the situation at hand. I am acting out of my own interest in this and mine alone. I've no intention to permit you to have all the fun. I'm off then. Why not let your curiosity get the better of you while you're here? The Guild has made many promising discoveries of late. There is still much for you to learn within these walls. Indeed, I'm sure there is. Alright, next will be culinary. And that should be in... Oh, that's over in Revenant's Toll now, okay. Right, that's right, we followed that guy over to Revenant's Toll. The kitchen just above Rowena's. Hey, Ralph. Anne, good to see you again. Since last we spoke, I've managed to learn a little about the local doman's culinary preferences. Pretty much all of them are sick unto death of bread in their lunches, and they miss nothing more than rice, the staple of their homeland. In particular, they want to eat the steamed stuff made into convenient balls. The doman name is onigiri, which I am told roughly translates to honorably squeezed. Well, if it's just a matter of squeezing honorably, I thought I didn't need to trouble you. As a matter of fact, I've already tried my hand at it using rice supplied by an adventurer friend. Was quite pleased with the results too, but then I gave it to the domans, and let's just say their opinion of it wasn't as high as my own. I don't know what I did wrong. I made the rice balls exactly as described, but there must be more to it than meets the eye. One thing's certain though, if I can't squeeze a decent ball of rice, I don't have a future in Far Eastern cuisine. Here's where I need your help, Anne. Polite of people as they are, the domans won't give it to me straight what was wrong with my rice balls. Do you think you could go and ask them in my stead? Yeah, I can do that. Have to understand how to ask them. The strapping gentleman's rice balls. While he was kind to make them for us, he needs to show the same kindness to the rice. He squeezed his balls with such force the texture was fairly crushed out of each grain. Huh. There's another... You wish to know what was wrong with the rice balls? Well, there I was expecting the taste of home, but it turned out to be utterly foreign. Whatever seasoning was used, it completely masked the natural taste of rice. Not to sound ungrateful, of course. And I spy the third one over there. Ah, yes, Master Ralph's rice balls. Was not a terrible first effort, but if I may offer some advice, he would do well to use less water in the cooking. And in the shaping, imagine that he is grasping not only grains of rice, but air as well. There's our red mage person. What level? Level 60. Oh, we never did our level 60 red mage, I guess. Oh well. Not important. I'll be damned. I assumed you'd squeezed in order to keep the grains together, but it's plainly not that simple, nor is it enough to simply cook the rice. You need just the right amount of water. As for the taste, I thought that salt alone was dull, so I came up with the brilliant idea of adding a hint of, wait for it, Far Eastern seasoning. To have it called foreign is salt in the wound, pardon the pun. Well, it seems I got just about everything wrong, but I dare say you'll fare better, Anne. While the comments are still fresh in your mind, do you think you could try making some rice balls? I have all the ingredients you need here, and Poppin there has more of the same. Well met, good madam. Poppin's my name, and I have charge over our stores. I've never had occasion to handle Far Eastern ingredients before, but rest assured I'm eager to learn. When the rice balls are ready, please bring them outside. I'll go around and gather us some domans in the meantime, and this time we'll make sure they leave with smiles on their faces. Let's make us some Doman rice balls. Or make one big Doman rice ball for everybody to share, I guess. Where did they go? Over there. All right. I've gathered the domans, and they are eager to sample your handiwork. Here are my doman rice balls. Thank you. I'll pass these out straight away. Not so much the shape of balls, but look like little pyramids or triangles. Now that was a rice ball. Ah, there's nothing like rice to give you strength for a hard day's work. That was wonderful. Every bite called to my mind's eye images of my faraway home. Both the steaming and the shaping were done to perfection. Well done! Oh, they are. Okay. Onigiri are supposed to be triangles. Learn something new every day. By the 12, this is amazing. I can taste it. How the sprinkle of salt draws out the sweetness of the rice. By adding spices, I unwittingly killed those natural flavors. And this fluffy texture, this is what it means to grasp not only rice but air as well. Gently joined as they are, the grains retain their fresh steamed plumpness and break apart at first bite. Such a simple thing, yet it's so good. You truly harness the best qualities of rice. Such is the spirit of Far Eastern cuisine, to respect each ingredient and allow it to shine. Hey, good morning, Wally. How are you doing there? Forgive me my interruption. My name is Anzu, and I wish to thank you for assisting Ralph. Anzu, you shouldn't be here. If we're seen together... What was I to do? I was worried. However, I see now that I needn't be. You're clearly in good hands. And returning to the matter at hand, the rice balls were a rousing success. Let's continue this back in the kitchen, shall we? Using your samples as a guide, I'm going to begin serving rice balls at the restaurant. This marks our first foray into Far Eastern cuisine, and I couldn't have done it without you, Anne. Thank you. $56. Not sure what that is. 56? Is that the temperature there or something? I don't know. Sorry. Just to hit the keyboard there, perhaps, yeah. Typing on the wrong instrument, maybe. And before you go off, I probably should tell you who that girl was. Anzu's my fiance. Oh, he says... finance. No, did they misspell that? I mean, I think it should just be fiance. Oh, they spelled it right. I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. It is fiance, okay. During my adventuring days, I'd often come here to trade tombstones. Here I first met her and kept meeting her until one day I popped the question. But there's something of a complication. But that's enough about me. Now, while the rice ball is a fine start, a start is all it is, I intend to put out more and more Far Eastern dishes, and I hope I can continue relying on your help in the days to come. Absolutely, Ralph. And you can rely on my poor pronunciation, too. Alright, that's all the level 63s for our crafters. And I could just go ahead and start here doing the level 65s, and I'll just work my way back up the list, I guess. Or do them as we get to them anyways. Anne, how are you? Since we began serving rice balls, I'm pleased to say they've been fairly flying out of the kitchen. The Domans can't get enough of them, and it's all thanks to you. I made like 100 of them here in just a minute, in just the few seconds you talked to me last time. Of course, it was never my intent to rest on these laurels. I've been exploring new Far Eastern dishes, in the course of which I caught wind of a common complaint among elderly Domans. It seems the rich and greasy foods found in Eorzea tend to wreak havoc on their stomachs. For such complaints, I'm told a dish called udon is just what the healers ordered. It's a bowl of noodles in a light and warming broth that's easy going down, and I'd like to try serving it up for the old bones. For the old ones. The key to the dish is the broth called dashi, which, as far as I can decipher, means exit juice. I'm sure it sounds more appetizing in the Doman tongue. The peculiarities of language aside, dashi is made by boiling dried fish, and it's supposed to be the base for many Far Eastern dishes. Now, last time I learned all about the importance of respecting ingredients and letting them shine. With that in mind, I want to source the best dried fish possible, which means we're going to Limsa Lominsa. You love cooking udon noodles? You make them with bell pepper and chicken. Ooh, delicious. Oh yeah, that sounds good. When we arrive, let's first visit the Bismarck and consult Guildmaster Lingzith. He'll know where to point us. Go see our old mentor, Mr. Lingzith. Dried fish to make broth for a Far Eastern dish, you say? Then your best bet be using the authentic stuff. Just so happens a Kraken ship recently seized itself an Imperial merchantman way out east, one what was carrying all sorts of exotic goods. Might be as the kind of dried fish you're after's among them. If that's the case, reckon Carvalane would be willing to cut you a deal. Why don't you go and have a chat with the bloke? Right then, let's go to the 7th Sage. The ship we seized, as a matter of fact, it was carrying some unusual cargo, among which I seem to recall some manner of dried fish. Seemed not like to fetch any coin, however, so we offloaded it in order to free up the hold for more valuable plunder. The Lady Infernal happened to pass by, so we made a gift of it to the Sanguine Sirens. The undiscerning fools that they are, they accepted it without question. So if you want your fish, you'll need to speak with their captain, the ever-uncouth Roswin. Well, looks like it's off to the missing member for us. Okay. Pardon me for just one moment here. Here we go. All right, let's see. Get over here. Hey, Mel Coco. It's been some time for you. You don't have some soba. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. You use the udon noodles for those. I don't do much cooking myself like that. I'm kind of settled into just easy stuff for myself here. You heard right. Carvalane gave us food stuff from a ship he seized. Far Eastern delicacy worth its weight in gold, he said. And my wife does most of the cooking, and we get a lot of noodles and rice, and we'll do the occasional pizza or something like that. But yeah, very simple stuff for us here. But what do I find when I pry open the crates but fish what's dried up harder than a plank? I should have known better and to trust that lion whoreson. That's it, the fish we're after. The Domans call it katsuobushi, and you boil shaved strips of it to get broth. Will you sell it to us, Captain? Sell it to you? Can't well sell what I don't have now, can I? Worthless as it looked, I had me girls throw it overboard, but now I find myself regretting it. I should have held on to the fish so I could have shoved them up Carvalane's arse. See how he enjoys his Far Eastern delicacy. Looks like there's nothing for it but to go to the Far East, but what am I going to do about the cafe? I can't leave it unattended. Excuse me, Anne. As usual, I couldn't help but overhear the captain's impassioned rants, and I'm happy to say I have the dried fish in our storehouse. Mossy B, He hardly ever comes to visit, you see, so I adopted a little kitty to remind me of him. And it just so happens he loves dried fish more than anything else. I've since discovered that a cat is far better company than some self-centered piece of turd who ain't never around. What were we talking about now? Right, dried fish. Any friend of Anne's is a friend of mine, and you are welcome to as much of it as you need. Please, help yourself. Really? I'm in your debt. Anne, I'll go and grab the fish. See you back at Revenant's Toll. Such dedication to his craft. Why, it's as if there's more than driving him than the cooking alone. As if there's love? Just a woman's intuition. Hee. You found yourself cooking the same dishes over and over again, so made it a New Year resolution to try at least one new recipe per week. Kept it up for 3 years now. Wow. And found some new favorites along the way. Yeah, it is good to try new things. Try your hand at different stuff. That's pretty cool. Back to Revenant's Toll. Right, let's get to work on the udon. And I'd like you to take shavings from the katsuobushi and boil it to make the broth. Meanwhile, I'll see to the noodles. It's supposed to be hard physical work, but I'm nothing if not strong. Poppin has more ingredients in reserve, so let him know if you need anything. Shall we then? Alright, we shall, I guess. And let's see if I can make this. Let's try a test here and see where we stand on everything here. Well, I did that one wrong. Oh well. Or no, that was right. Yeah, that's right. That's what I meant to do. Yeah, it's not looking like it's going to be any problem, even without procs. Yeah. We'll just go for it. They've got more materials if I mess it up somehow. Looking like a piece of cake. Alright. And we'll get our first piece of level 65 gear from this then. The noodles are just about done. How's the broth coming along? I've got it right here, Ralph. There you go. Wonderful! All that's left is to combine the two and the udon will be ready. I'll have the elderly domans come over to sample it right away. Ah, that was a tasty bowl of udon. The broth was good to the last drop, and light and gentle as it was, I dare say it'll be good all the way through me. I didn't think I'd get to eat udon again before I died. Brings a tear to my eye. Thank you, young ones. Thank you. Yeah, Ralph is psyched. All right. I reckon we can call that a great success. Now I can offer udon on the menu with confidence. Well, well, I had heard that an Eorzean had taken to serving Far Eastern cuisine. To think that it was you. Who'd that be? Father! You will not call me that. You are no son to me. I will not give my precious daughter to some vagabond. But I've given up adventuring. This is what I do now. All that I intend to do. And I'm learning how to make Far Eastern cuisine for the Doman people. And Wally, you cook different things from time to time, but like myself, you usually set for the practical daily stuff. Yeah, okay. It's once I become familiar with something, I guess it just becomes second nature to just keep doing what I already know. I should try some new things though occasionally, that's for sure. But yeah, it's comforting, I guess is the word. Comforting to do things that you're familiar with, and so that's probably what guides a lot of my decisions in the food area as well. An ignoble adventurer making our noble cuisine? I would be laughing were the idea not so absurd. Before you pass judgment, please sample my udon Unzan-san. I made it together with my fellow adventurer here. Huh. Doubtless it will be just a rude bastardization. He's looking at that bowl like, oh, I don't know if I want to try this. Yeah, cooking, good for the soul, relaxing. Alright, turn that frown upside down, dude. Considering that it was made by an outsider, the broth is respectable. The flavors are well balanced, and 'tis plain care was taken in the boiling. The noodles, on the other hand, soggy rubbish. There is no body to them at all. They are soft and spineless, the very personification of their maker. You're worth little as an adventurer, and even less as a culinarian. Oh well. I'm sorry you had to see that, Anne, but at least now you know what the complication is. Anzu's father, Unzan, he's as traditional as they come and refuses to accept a vagrant adventurer like me for a son-in-law. It was to gain his approval that I gave up the adventuring life to focus on cooking Far Eastern cuisine. The problem is, Unzan himself is a chef of no small renown, who had his own prestigious restaurant in Doma. From the first, I knew it wouldn't be easy to impress him, but to be on the receiving end of such scorn is disheartening, to say the least. I'm sure it is, yeah. In the end, though, he spoke the truth. I'm not worth a damn as neither adventurer or culinarian. Should have been neither nor, but my English. A far cry from you, Anne. Even so, I won't let it end like this. I won't give up. No matter what it takes, I will succeed as a culinarian and make Unzan approve of me. I'm sorry I kept all this from you, but though my motives aren't as I first said, it doesn't change what we seek to do, and I hope I can keep depending on your help. Welcome, Dragon Jewel, to our humble kitchen. Alright, we'll take the body piece for starters, I guess. Yeah. Alright, well, they're level 70, so we won't need to level them up to finish the quests. Alright, new tools. Let's put that on everybody. Alright, and let's see, Alchemist. We'll try that one next. Back over to Ul'dah. And let's see, that one is back over at Severian again. Ah, my erudite extern. Welcome, welcome. I have been wanting to tell you I did indeed meet and speak with Mumuepo. Alas, even for all my charm, I was unable to get the truth out of him with regards to Heartstrike. And rightly so. He is a jailed man, imprisoned for crimes he is known to have committed. Should he confess to any further crimes, his sentence will only be extended. One can hardly fault him for his reticence. I hoped at the very least to acquire permission to investigate the coffin in his charge, yet I failed even in that. But we must not give ourselves to despair just yet. There are other ways to exhume the dead beyond the keeper of the burial rites. We must turn our efforts to those the deceased has left behind, relatives, a spouse. In their presence, the gravekeeper will have no pretense for preventing us to proceed. No doubt it may sound somewhat unagreeable to you, but I fear there is no other means at our disposal. What you must do now is clear. Travel to Eralig's burial chamber and speak with Edgitha. Learn what you can from her of whatever family survives our queer corpse. Oh, and my adventure squad finished training. I'm going to run over there and set them up with training some more, I guess, for now. Still do more comprehensive. There we go. And over to the burial chamber. You again? I told you once before to leave, and I won't again. You come on behalf of the alchemist Severian, and you wish to know of the deceased's relatives? Very well. We've had such requests from him before with regards to preservation of the dead. For such a noble deed, I'll not deny you the information you seek. The man at rest in the sarcophagus you speak of is survived by the great songstress of Ul'dah in days past, Flamen. I am told she can be found in Revenant's Toll. There's Flamen again. Gosh, she gets around. She is so popular. If you are able to convince her to come here with you, protocol will permit me to give you leave to examine the dead in her care. Why, hello there, Anne. Whatever brings you to these parts? Eralig's burial chamber? You wish to know of the body interred there in my charge? And what could you possibly mean to do with such knowledge? The body at rest there is someone very special to me. If this is simply a matter of satisfying your curiosity, I'm afraid I must refuse. So, you have discovered a corpse that seems to be yet alive. I do not understand what that has to do with with the deceased in my care. Surely you do not think there's some connection between the two? Heartstrike, you say. A blade imbued with the power to resurrect the dead, and you suspect a thaumaturge of conducting such experiments? If that were to be true, then... Very well. I will tell you of the one laid to rest in my keep. It is my love, my dearest Neil. He was murdered just before the coming of the calamity. But there is more. Once dead, it was as if time itself stopped, as if the natural laws were suspended just for him. His body does not deteriorate. Even now he appears as the day he died. The grief of losing my Neil was more than I could bear. I surrendered myself to the belief that some strange affliction had taken him, but that someday he would waken from it and return to me. Without that to carry me, I myself could not have survived. But as I spent my days raising Asilia, I slowly came to live with the realization that he was dead, and that never would he return to me. And now the belief I cling to is that his soul is at peace at Thal's side. Even so, I search tirelessly for some way to make sense of what is happening to my Neil, but I have found nothing to lead me to an answer. You say you have found a young lady whose remains exhibit the same strangeness as my love's, and that this blade, this heartstrike, may well be responsible for it. That is what you are thinking, is it not? Oh yeah, eating even more so. Relaxing, and good for both body and soul, too. Then I will help you where I can. Let us find this heartstrike together. But I am reminded now of what transpired the last time you and I worked together in such a way. Perhaps, yes, I know just who to call upon for this. Let me use my handy-dandy link pearl here. An old friend of mine will lend his aid. I have asked him to meet with us at Eralig's burial chamber. Will you come? I should very much like to introduce you to my Neil. It looks as though my old friend has yet to arrive. Come, let us meet Neil while we wait. It is time to open his coffin. Inside the old coffin lies a perfectly preserved Elysian male. His beautiful, peaceful visage suggests a state of slumber rather than death. The absence of a pulse and breath suggests the absence of life, but it feels as though the corpse could awaken at any moment. It is the same phenomenon displayed by the remains of the young lady. Well, I'd not expected to be called here of all places. It's been a long time, Laman. Indeed it has. I wonder, should I still call you the Bronze Bull? Don't start with that. It's Grindfar, just like it always was. Grindfar is an old friend to both Neil and myself. Oh, I know this adventurer, the one what forged me a sword. You've my thanks for that still. I cherish it to this very day. Tell me then, for what are we here? Oh, that's interesting. I guess, was he really one of them that made a sword? I made a sword for earlier. Cool. Anne is with us, Grindfar, and she is here to help, to save Neil. I would be curious to not level blacksmith, and I guess it'd be blacksmith. I would have keep unleveled and see what happens for the dialogue there, if they even throw that in there. Anne is with us, Grindfar, and she is here to help, to save Neil. I've come to realize that so long as we are unable to put his death behind us, we will never be able to move forward with our lives. There were choices I made when Neil Fresna was killed. I chose not to dwell on his death. I chose to leave my friends and make myself scarce. Ever since, I haven't been able to live with myself, so if there's aught I can do now, I'll do it. Let us give him and ourselves peace. Thank you, Grindfar. Your words bring me great comfort. Then I turn now to you, Anne. Tell your tale to Grindfar. Tell him of the corpses, the thaumaturge, Heartstrike, everything. All right. Well, you see, here's what we know. Another corpse that doesn't rot? It can't be. Heartstrike lost its power. It's useless, and has been ever since I stole it from Lord Lolorito some 5 years past. You? You mean to say you had it in your possession? Grindfar, tell me now, do you know who did this to Neil? If only. I saw how he was, dead, but not. It wasn't natural. I'd heard of the blade and what it could do. I suspected it had been used on him. So I thought if Heartstrike could be used to do this, perhaps it could be used to undo it. I meant to free his spirit from whatever jail it's in. I learned the blade belonged to Lord Lolorito, and so I broke into his estate and stole it. But the Heartstrike you took was already void of power, if it ever had any at all, and so you weren't able to save Neil with it. Right. After that, I threw the blade into Soot Creek to be done with it. But this changes things. If Mumuepo dealt in these darkest of arts, might be he knows a way to save Neil. Problem is, that crazed mummer's not like to speak any truths from his cell. I'll meet with him myself. I've some old friends of my own what may be able to arrange it, and you, adventurer, I'll have a word outside with you. To meet with Mumuepo may prove simple enough, but having the truth from him will not. That is where I ask your aid. I need you to speak with the alchemist Severian. Find out what tonics or potions he can muster to loose the lips of our Lalafell. I mean to present it under the guise of good intentions. Forgive me. This is the way, but I did not wish to speak of it till Flamen. Now go, and may the gods go with you. Who's that? So, the remains of the famed goldsmith Neil Fresne suffer the same twisted fate as that of our young lady. And you believe the blade heartstrike to be the common thread that weaves this tapestry together? Most intriguing. And now, Grindfar asks for a gift for Mumuepo, does he? A concoction to turn the Lalafel's tongue to talking. Such deviousness. I dare say I like the way our Grindfar thinks. As it just so happens, I was considering a similar tactic myself. Indeed, I have already begun preparation of the ingredients needed, yet a dilemma lies before us, namely this. Mumuepo is not fool enough to simply imbibe some unknown tonic presented him by a random caller. But, as can be expected, I have the solution. It has come to my knowledge that Mumuepo has an unslakable thirst for muntui juice. And it just so happens that exposing said juice to the fermentation process twice over yields a natural truth serum, one our suspecting Lalafell is like to quaff heartily and without heed. Here then, take these reagents, but mind your hand. They may appear to be no more than mere juice ingredients, but within them lies the potential for great chemical catastrophe. Why do you tarry here? Grindfire awaits the twice-fermented muntoi juice at Eralig's burial chamber, does he not? See it to him with all haste, and should you discover aught else, bring word to me forthwith. Okay, I'll make it. Right, deliver. Were you able to mix us a gift for a Mumuepo? Yeah, check out this twice fermented muntoi juice. Oh, a job well done, my friend. I knew I was in the right to ask this of you. I need time to see the deed done. You and Flamen will have to wait. And here's some crafting gear in my back pocket for you, too. Yeah, I'll take the pants. The next one. Already did that one. There we go. All right, and over to Kugane for Weaver. We might as well do Weaver, Armorer, and Carpenter while we're there. I don't think we have to travel anywhere. Can't remember. Ah, Mistress Adventurer, I cannot thank you enough. It would be no overstatement to say that your bustle has swept the discriminating patrons of the Hanamachi clear off their feet. Though she may lack the experience and name value of her seniors, Kotocho's services are in the highest of demand. As proof of this, my butterfly has received the most prestigious of invitations, a call to perform at the inaugural Kaiko Odori. The Kaiko Odori is to be a celebration of the opening of Kugane's port to the world, and an ideal opportunity to introduce our cultural traditions to foreign dignitaries and luminaries who have just recently arrived on Hingen's shores. Only the most accomplished and celebrated geiko are being chosen for this occasion. For a fledgling such as Kotocho to receive the call, this can only be a sign that a new dawn is breaking before our eyes. When my butterfly makes her debut before the world, none but the finest of dresses will do. Might I commission your services once more, Mistress Adventurer? I would trust the job to none other. As before, the particulars of the design I shall leave to Kotocho herself. Clearly, the girl possesses an unparalleled eye for fashion. Pray, visit her in the Hanamachi and see what she has in mind. Okay. It is an honor to welcome you back, friend. The bustle you fashioned for me has caught the eye of many. Night after night am I summoned by the wealthiest merchants and landowners of Kugane, who would spare no expense to spend a night in my company. But why limit myself to my own countrymen when there is a whole world out there to enthrall and entrance? If I can win the favor of our honored guests at the Kaiko Odori, there is no telling the heights to which I may soar. Dreams I never dared to dream will be within my reach. However, one matter concerns me. I am accustomed to dancing in inns and tea houses, and yet these festivities will be held outdoors, under the open sky. I wonder, what manner of dresses are preferred for such an occasion in your homeland? One that will allow you to move freely. I see. Yes, on a wide open stage I cannot afford to wear a garment that might restrict my range of motion. A dress of light, supple fabric would certainly suffice. Whatever would one call such a garment, might I ask? A spring dress, you say? How very delightful. It calls to mind cherry blossoms dancing and twirling in a gentle breeze. Why, the very thought sets my heart aflutter. But do not forget, friend, light and airy though it may be, this dress will serve as my armor in my fiercest battle yet. I am counting on you to see that I emerge triumphant. Do pass along my regards to the young master. Indeed. We shall. Welcome back, Mistress Adventurer. Do tell, what manner of dress do you intend to fashion for my butterfly this time? A spring dress. A dress that flutters like petals in a spring breeze? How absolutely delightful! I can only begin to envision what you have in mind, but surely it will evoke a sense of freedom and frolic entirely unlike our traditional kimono. Please begin your work with my blessing. As before, I have instructed Yagiri to provide you with all the fabric you require. May the kami be with you, my friend. I can scarcely wait to see what wonders your needle will work this time. Welcome back, honored guest. Say no more. The young master has told me everything. I mean, I could just hear you talking. You're only like, what, 6 feet away. It is again my honor to furnish you with the finest fabrics from our stock. Thank you. Let's make something. Thanks in no small part to your masterwork, Kotocho has become the darling of the flower district, and orders for Western fashions have been coming in night and day. The young master can be reserved in showing his emotions, but even he is finding it difficult to conceal his joy. Needless to say, we at Titania are honored to support your efforts in whatever humble manner we can, or whatever manner we may. Should you lack for materials, you need but say the word. All right, well, let's make a winsome spring dress. We got to be careful. We'll be pushing that progress meter here with new gear. Have to change things up a little bit, and maybe soon. Your work is done. Splendid. Pray, show me what marvel you have fashioned for my butterfly today. Here is a winsome spring dress. This is simply stunning, my friend. I knew you would not let us down. That said, is the neckline not a touch low? No matter, we must summon Kotocho once again. Yagiri, send a messenger to the Hanamachi. Young master, mistress adventurer, what say you? I say nothing, my butterfly, for your unspeakable beauty has robbed me of all words. My worries about the neckline were for naught. The slender grace of your shoulders, why, you are as a delicate orchid blooming in the warmth of the spring sun. Yes, I can see it now. When you dance for the world at the Kaiko Odori, a spring breeze will blow down from the mountains high and sweep Hingen and Ijing alike into a glorious rapture. Your words make me blush, young master. It is by your patronage and the talents of Mistress Adventurer that I have come this far, but I assure you this is only the beginning. When I take the stage at the Kaiko Odori, a new legend will be born. A legend? I trust this means you will not be tripping over your own 2 feet as you did at yesterday's lesson, and the day before, for that matter. Forgive me, Kototsuru. I meant no disrespect. I know your dancing ability far exceeds my own, but must you be so cruel about it? I speak only the truth, a truth that all can see, all save this 2-koban rag merchant and the amateur aesthetes who waste their coin on a clumsy child who hides her shameful lack of skill with gaudy, uncultured garb. Why, I may be a child, and my skill at dance may yet be lacking, but I am training as hard as any in the Flower District. I am winning hearts with each passing day. Every night new customers flock to see me. New customers? I ask you this, my clumsy little caterpillar. How many of them come back? You are a curiosity, an oddity and little more. One night with you in your outlandish dresses and they have had their fill for a lifetime. There are only so many patrons, wealthy patrons, in Kugane, and they value tradition. Fail to win their hearts, and your career will be as fleeting as the cicada who will not live to see the autumn. But I must be on my way. My customers are calling. That was Kototsuru, the most senior and celebrated of all the Geiko. She is also the one charged with training her younger sisters, though she can be something of a harsh taskmistress, as you just saw. I'll show her. There is more to being a Geiko than stuffy old traditions. I may still be young, but I am the future of Kugane. I will soar high atop the Flower District long after that fusty old crane has gone home to roost. She can keep her stuffy old bureaucrats and merchants. I require no more than the young master and mistress adventurer at my side. Kotocho's star is rising, and at the Keiko Odori it will shine brightest of all. Feet. Feet, feet, feet. And some more gear here, it looks like. All right. Alright, we got to do armor and carpenter. Go ahead and do carpenter here. Since we're here in Kugane anyways. Ah, Anne, you're here. Since we last met, I've been working day and night to improve my shortcomings as a carpenter. I'm leaps and bounds from where I once was. Until now, I've been undependable. I promise you, however, that from this moment forward, you'll be seeing an entirely new side of me. To prove to you just how much I've changed, I took the initiative and found us a new client. Her name is Ume, and she runs the local tea house. I've even finished crafting the item she requested of us. Haha, are you impressed yet? Well, there's more. I'm scheduled to deliver it to her at her shop. You'll come with me, won't you? After all, my first successful business transaction is something you'll not want to miss. What do you mean you can't use this? I took special care to listen to every word you said. This is exactly what you asked for. This charming little sign is certain to attract droves of customers. Exactly what I asked for? Ha! It's a far cry from it. I told you I wanted something which would help me establish a base of regular patrons. This is an advertisement aimed at the general public, the precise opposite of what I need. Even if I had requested this ridiculous sign, what makes you think it would do anything to convince customers to come here? The writing on it is illegible. You can scarcely make out the name of my shop. Oh dear. Anne, help! Ah, you have brought a friend. You look like you have a good head on your shoulders. Perhaps you would be able to help me. Excellent. While I cannot quite place my finger on it, I suspect my tea house lacks something in the way of ambience. I would like for you to figure out what exactly that something might be and make me furnishings or accessories to improve it. If you find yourself short on ideas, you might speak with some of my customers. Mayhap you can ask them for their opinions on what would enhance their experience here. As it seems I'm no longer needed here, I shall return to the Shiokaze hostelry and ready some materials for you. Once you decide what it is you want to craft, come look for me and I shall provide you with what you need. Studying while listening is a good thing. Oh, well, I'm so happy to hear that, Wally. I wish you good luck and good skill in your studying there. Apologies, but I was just on my way out. If only this place were more willing to accommodate smokers, I would be that much more inclined to stay. How would I go about improving this place? While I have no complaints about the tea or food, it would be nice if they had books or a place to smoke to help pass the time. For all the good food and drink, it still lacks warmth. I would come here twice as often if they had a corner where I could sit back, relax, and have a smoke after a long day. Alright, so something to do with smoking then. And I know not how to apologize to you. It seems the harder I try, the more work I create for you. If only I could figure out what it is I'm doing wrong. I thought my problem was listening, so I made sure to take note of every word that came from our client's mouth, but it made no difference in the end. But I digress. Now is not the time to be dwelling on my failure. Let us concentrate on fulfilling the tea shop proprietor's request. Do you have any ideas on what we can make to satisfy her? Yeah, I could have looked in my quest log and figured it out, but let's see. What's to do with smoking here? There we go, a pipe box so people can have a smoke and unwind. That's it! I've noticed many men and women in Kugane do indulge on occasion. Setting a pipe box in this area is the perfect way to invite them to have a leisurely smoke after they've finished their tea. It's certain to keep them coming back. Now, let us set about making it. You'll be needing this, maybe some of that, and of course this. Here, that should be everything. I think the tea house owner is quite eager to receive her delivery. If you could finish the pipe box and see that it gets to her quickly, it'd be greatly appreciated. Certainly. Stylish pipe box. Alright, I better check this one out first. Let's see how many. I don't think we're gonna finish it with one of these. Yeah, it'll be okay. Oh, I'll take advantage of that, I guess. All right. Yo, Ume, look what we got here. The key to running a successful business is cultivating a loyal clientele. I need for you to assist me in doing just that. Check out this stylish pipe box. A pipe box, you say? Ah, but of course. Why didn't I think of that? Most of my customers smoke. Inviting them to do so here after they finish their sweets and tea will no doubt encourage them to stop by more regularly. Do you see now, little lady? This is what I was asking for. Oh, yes. It is crystal clear now. Anne is a master carpenter, and, in contrast, I am nothing but a miserable failure. Might I take a look at that? Beaton! Welcome, Beaton. Great gods. Timber Master Beaton, what are you doing here? I felt the call of wood and followed it here. Ah, yes. The intricate metal inlay, coupled with the finely polished wooden exterior, leads me to believe that this is your work, Anne. You have quite the sense of humor, child. Sorry about that. Minor mishap there. You have quite the sense of humor, child. My dear lady, it seems my protege here has seen fit to furnish you with a pipe box in the truest sense of the word. What, pray tell, do you mean? The pipe box holds ash, and this particular one is made of ash lumber. Mayhap, however, you would need to be a carpenter to fully appreciate the joke. Mayhap indeed. All jesting aside, I would like to thank you for this magnificent gift. I cannot wait to see the reaction it will elicit from my guests. Semi, from what I understand, Anne made a pipe box at the request of a client. Tell me, why is it that you also did not craft one? I'm sorry, sir. I've been giving it my all. Really I have, but the sad truth is that nothing I make is good enough to satisfy anyone. That's why I thought it best for me to stick to simply gathering materials. It is always a struggle in the beginning, but that is no excuse to quit. Failure builds character, character which will allow you to grow as a craftsman. While it may not feel like it, you have grown a great deal during your sojourn here in Kugane. However, it is time you packed your bags. You are to journey to Yanxia next, to the lands beyond the Ruby Sea. Yes, sir, I shall make ready to depart straight away. And I will be going ahead of you, but worry not, once I arrive, I shall send you a letter telling you where we can meet. Semi, before you go, allow me to say this. You have a firm grasp of all the basics and a sharp intuition besides. There is, however, one thing that is holding you back. You strive solely for perfection. Remember, your purpose is not to create something flawless, but something authentic. Something unique that will be cherished for years and years to come. See ya. Okay. How exciting is this? I'm going to Yanxia. Don't you fret, Anne. Like I mentioned earlier, once I have settled in, I shall send a letter to you by way of Kotokaze. That's me. This time I have every intention of living up to Timbermaster Beaton's expectations. Why, I dare say we shall even be returning from our journey there with a tale or two on how I charmed my way back into the locals' hearts with my carpentry skills. Till we meet again in Yanxia. Body piece, pants, right, and foot piece we got. All right, we just need the hands. Get everybody decked out here. And we'll switch to armor next. That should be just over there by Pier 1, I think. Yep. Well, if it ain't me fellow apprentice, been keeping busy? Myself, I've been watching over Master Fugetsu's shoulder as he works and learning a few scraps of Far Eastern armor crafting. The whole way they approach the craft is different, from the materials they choose to the process of putting the pieces together. And now that Master Fugetsu is finishing up that commission work, he'll be free to instruct us in his methods firsthand. I'll finally be taking me first step towards me goal. My regat's beard, me bloody hands are trembling at the thought of it. Right, let's go and learn our first lesson, eh? You have been most patient, my apprentices, but you need wait no longer. Our commission is safely filled, and I can now devote my full attention to instructing you in our traditional methods. Let us begin by examining the differences between Eorzean and Hingan plate armors, the most obvious being that, while your suits are crafted from large, carefully shaped sheets, ours are made up of many overlapping scales. The scales themselves are often made from hardened leather, but for your lesson I think I shall have you forge them from metal. This will allow you to craft a durable yet flexible piece of armor. In this land, we are especially conscious of protecting against arrows, and this emphasis has led to the design of long, hanging sleeves and the like. I imagine the appearance is quite unusual for those unaccustomed to the style. But be that as it may, these scales form the foundation of the Hingan art of armor crafting. As an introduction to this basic technique, I have decided to have you craft a pair of armored gloves, otherwise known as kote. Speak with Unru as before. He will provide you with all the materials you require. These kote of yours, do the folk what wear 'em ask for aught in particular? I want to make certain I focus on the right bits. Then mayhap you might wish to speak with a warrior directly. I am sure one of the blades at the Sekisegumi barracks would be sufficiently intrigued by your query to offer an answer. The barracks, eh? Right. I'll go and have a bit of a chat and then get straight to work. I am eager to see how you incorporate the results of your investigation. Yeah, let's run over there and see what the samurai have to say. Yes? Who are you, and what business have you with the Sekisegumi? We're Eorzeans, apprenticed to Master Fugetsu. We've been tasked with forging some kote, and I thought I'd ask a proper warrior about the kind of gloves he prefers to wear. A worthy subject of discourse. While protection for the hands is paramount, I would say that the finest kote must also afford a full range of motion for wielding a blade. One cannot hope to exploit an enemy's fleeting misstep if one's hands are bound as if by blocks of lead. A full range of motion, eh? That's the sort of thing I wanted to hear. Thank you, sir. From the sounds of it, we'll be needing a metal what's both light and durable if we're to achieve the right amount of flexibility and protection. Let's get you working on some base titanium gloves. I'll craft the other bits and pieces, and then we can put the lot together for our presentation. Alright, so let's go get our materials from Unru. You seek to forge a pair of titanium kote, yes? Lanster explained your task to me, and I have prepared everything you need. As ever, should you require aught more, do not hesitate to ask. And I'm going to just test one more time here with all the gear on us. I think it's still only 264. Yep. We're good to go. Mr. B. Are you done with them kote then? Yes, titanium kote, made to order. Very nice, Anne. Just the sort of quality I'd expect from you. I'll attach all the other bits we need, then we can show our work to Master Fugetsu. Let me see what you have forged then. Yes, not only are the scales of exceptional strength and quality, the precision of the joinings is beautiful to behold. I can find no criticism worthy of mention. Too heavy and rigid, and kote will be as manacles. You show a fine understanding of the importance of freedom of movement on the battlefield. Aye, we simply forged them like that warrior bloke suggested. For veterans like me and Anne, it weren't exactly much of a challenge. I'm starting to wonder if this is really the right path to unlocking my own brand of originality. I want to learn how to make somewhat like them Heavenstern helmets, somewhat distinct and with character. Not to be rude, but I didn't come here to hammer out dull, bloody pieces like this. I understand your urgency, but the individuality you seek cannot be developed in a day. That you have learned to craft to your client's needs is a fine start, and we will build upon that foundation. Today's lesson is over. I shall next instruct you in more practical concerns, so be sure you have a firm grasp on the art of crafting scales. Get our tool equipped. So next we need to do leatherworker, goldsmith, and blacksmith. Hey, there's our Dalmal standing there. Ah, number 72. Have you heard word of our work? Oh, of course you've heard. How could you not when our Dalmal is the talk of the town? Yet, even so, I find it curious no one has inquired about its distinctive hair and hooves. You would think such stark differences from your typical Dalmal would compel even a handful of people to ask. No matter. It will be all we can do to keep inquirers at bay when we present them with our next mount, the mighty bear. Not just any bear, mind you, but the rapacious grizzly bear, indigenous to the lands bordering Girabanya. Sadly, the fruit that serves as a staple of their diet has grown increasingly scarce in the wake of the calamity, and as their food supply dwindles, so too do their numbers. Though there is little we can do to restore their primary source of sustenance, we can still do our part to let people know of their plight. Now then, make your way to East End. When you arrive, I would suggest speaking with the soldiers stationed at Castrum Oriens to learn precisely where the bears can be found. I shall remain here to keep watch over the Dalmal Mount, and for any wayward souls that may seek enlightenment. You heard Miss Ataluna. Let's get going to Garabanya. Hopefully the soldiers can point us in the right direction. We can ask more people if we split up. Could you try asking around the eastern side of the base? I'll stay around the main gate and see what I can learn. You're after grizzly bears. There used to be plenty of them to the south near Bittermill. Can't say I see too many of them now, though. So, there used to be a lot of bears near Bittermill. I guess the fruit they like to eat must have grown there. If it still does, there may be a few bears in the area. Let's have a look. Are you all right? I thought I was safe when I reached Bittermill, but instead I only found more monsters to chase me. It wasn't all bad, though. When I was running, I saw a grizzly bear near the river. Come on, maybe there's one we can use for the mount. Let's see. It's dead. And look at these scars. I'm not sure if we can use this for a mount, but I doubt we're like to find another one. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to try. Can you help me ready the pelt? You skin the bear, but its pelt is marred with gashes. Well, I suppose we have our pelt. A shame it's in such poor condition. Let's head back to Gridania for now. Maybe Miss Ataluna can think of something to do with it. Finally, you're back. If you would deign to keep me waiting this long, I can only assume you have brought an immaculate specimen for the exhibition. Well... No, no, no. The pelt is ruined. What is the meaning of this? What happened? I'm sorry, Miss Ataluna. The grizzly bear was already covered in scrapes and scars when we found it. There was no telling when we'd find another, so we skinned it as best we could and came back. I see. I appreciate your effort, but I'm afraid there's nothing we can do with the pelt in such poor condition. We cannot let the bear's sacrifice be wasted. If you believe you can make something of this pelt, then perhaps. The only question is what? Miss Ataluna, Anne, could we make it into clothing? Something I can wear as a reminder of the bear's sacrifice and why we're working to make these animal mounts. An excellent idea, number 71. Number 72. I imagine working with a skin such as this will prove difficult, so I would suggest making something simple. A nice pair of gloves, perhaps. When you've finished, give them to number 71. Will do. Some grizzly bear gloves. I know the pelt was in rather poor shape, but I hope you can manage to make something of it. Here, try these high-quality grizzly bear gloves. Wow, you really did it! Ooh, training completed again. These gloves look amazing. I certainly hope they fit all right. Working bearskin into gloves is no easy feat, but their durability and resilience to cold makes it worth the effort. Why, you can scarcely even notice the material was tarnished prior to their making. The leather is so smooth, it's like nothing ever happened. Thank you so much, Anne. I'll cherish them always. You've done well, number 72. Though I wish to add a grizzly bear to our collection of animal mounts, I will not ask that you risk the dangers of Girabanya for another. Scarce as they are, I doubt you will find one. These gloves must serve as testament to the rarity of this poor creature now on the brink of extinction. But there are still myriad species in equally dire straits. It is up to us to make the realm aware of their struggles and to preserve their grace and beauty for future generations. Indeed, our work is far from over. Until I have decided on our next subject for mounting, I pray you will use your time wisely and prepare. Head knife. That one. Alright, next goldsmith. Back over to Ralger's Reach. Oh yeah, we need to just go ahead and finish off that quest with Monago there. Unlock that. Likely won't make use of it, but maybe if we want to get some scripts or something. Good to see you, Anne. If you're looking for lease... Huh? Who told you I'd taken an interest in the collectibles trade? I'm surprised. I knew you were many things, but an accomplished artisan was not one of them. We would have been fools to turn you away when you offered to help the Resistance, and I'd be a fool to do it now. You're probably wondering why I decided to try my hand at a different trade. Truth is, it's not for me, but for the ones who couldn't be here today. The ones who aren't here to see what we've accomplished. A free Alamigo, a new beginning, a new future. After we defeated Xenoth and the 12th, I thought long and hard about what I ought to do next. I was with the relatives of some of the dead in recompense when I realized I had lost comrades, but them, they'd lost husbands and wives, mothers and fathers, breadwinners. Every day would be harder than the last. We'd won them freedom, aye, the freedom to be poor and die starving. Where's the justice in that? So I decided I'd do something about it. I'd establish a fund for the widows and the orphans, our way of giving a little back in honor of those who gave us their all. There was just one problem. I don't know the first thing about making gil. Other than soldiering, my only other talent was hunting, and I'll not raise more than a fraction of what I need selling pelts. But when little Galliena told me about collectibles and the prices people were willing to pay, I knew I'd found the answer. I'll not deny I've got a lot to learn, but I'm ready and willing to give it my all. So what say you? Up for helping me fill customer orders for a good cause? Of course, I'll not ask you to do it for free. You'll get your cut. Script's good with any of the house's people. Sounds good. Glad to have you on board. First order of business, I'm in the market for some Girabanian souvenirs. Since the liberation of Alamigo, trade with our other regions has been steadily increasing. Commodities people had to struggle to get are easier to obtain, and people are getting a taste for more and more, Redanians in particular. I've got a feeling this is going to be the start of something special. Custom deliveries with Monago. Alright, let's head over and do our goldsmith quest now. Thanks to your inspired idea and extraordinary craftsmanship, we have addressed the issue of the two brothers' shortcomings and may carry on their education. Alas, another issue has arisen, this time with Kabika. She possesses determination, artistic sense, and above all, a love for jewelry. I was quite certain she would succeed as a goldsmith, but she is, for want of a better word, clumsy. Remarkably so. She falters at the most vital steps when applying the finishing touches and ends up having to start from scratch. This has happened so many times now, she has become quite depressed. Considering how reliable she is at molding, I cannot understand why she would struggle in this way. Could it be she puts too much pressure on herself and it robs her of a steady touch? Whatever the cause might be, perhaps you will be able to discern it where I could not. Might I trouble you to look in on Kabika, Schoolmaster, and the other two as well while you're at it? You are like to find them at the sutler's tent. All the way over there. Yeah, just across the way here. Me? I've been watching Miss Emeloth trying to imitate her movements. She's real graceful with her hands, you know. Next time, maybe you could let us watch you, too. Kabika? Aye, she's been having a lot of mishaps of late, and it's gotten her down. Funny thing is, you know when something's about to go wrong. She furrows her brows, looking real focused like, then lets out a growl, and the next moment, all her hard work's undone. Thanks again for the other day, Chief. We've got our heads down and together trying to put out a ring what won't shame you. Huh? Have I noticed anything about Kabika's work? Well, she's a sight better than me, and that's taken all her bungling into account. More's the pity, 'cause she seems to know exactly what she wants to do. I ain't no expert, not yet anyway, but might be she could stand to slow it down some. I mean, outside of work, she always gets me and Hal mixed up. I won't deny the resemblance, but I'm clearly the better looking one. Schoolmaster, I'm at my wit's end. I keep on botching the finishing touches, and it's just so frustrating, and I don't know what to do anymore. I was never clumsy like this in the past, and though people say I talk in streams of thought, I never rush my work, but for some reason my hands and fingers don't move as I will them. I can't for the life of me work out what's wrong, and it's driving me mad, and I'm just about ready to give up. Were you able to learn aught of Kabika's situation? She furrows her eyebrows before an instance of bungling, you say, and struggles to tell the two brothers apart besides. It seems to me the problem lies with her eyes. I was aware of her poor eyesight, but I assumed that her spectacles corrected it. Well, Kabika is right there, so let us test her vision and ascertain the possibility. Schoolmaster, may I trouble you to summon her while Kanchana and I set things up? Yeah, certainly. You wish to test my vision, Schoolmaster Adventurer, but of course. So, I just stand here, and should I take off my spectacles? Nay, young goldsmith, pray, leave them on. Let us begin, then. Whose hand is raised? Miss Emeloth's or mine? Oh, that's easy. Yours, Kanchana. It honestly appears that way to you. By the gods, girl, what world have you been living in? How have you not already strolled off a cliff? Yeah, really. We have our answer. Her spectacles have outlived their usefulness. Mayhap her schoolmaster would be so kind as to make her a new pair? It just so happens I had spectacles in mind for the next task. From the curves of the lenses to the joints of the frame, these items demand a high degree of precision and are thus ideal for cultivating attention to detail. The spectacles you craft for Kabika would also serve admirably as a sample for our apprentices. As for their added benefit, may I suggest that you make a demonstration of it? So, the schoolmaster will make me a new pair of spectacles, and it'll be our reference for the next task? Whenever you are ready, Anne. As before, if you are short of materials, Kanchana will furnish you with whatever you require. All right. Let's make a pair of spectacles. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, there we go. How are the spectacles coming along? They are finished. And they look stylish too. Oh, praise be, I can see again. All the beauty of nature in its fullest brilliance, extending as high as the heavens and as far as the horizon. My world is so wide now, I feel as though anything and everything is possible. Thank you, schoolmaster, thank you from the bottom of my heart. To look at your glee, it's a wonder you didn't realize the fault lay in your spectacles. At any rate, you may again work with confidence. She could hardly see worth a damn, but she could still do a sight better than us. We're gonna have to lift our game something fierce. You hear me, Hal? Loud and clear, Weedo. Loud and clear. These are the finest spectacles a girl could hope to own, and I don't know how close we can get to such quality, but we're going to give it our all. Yeah, it's a wonder she could craft anything, not being able to see. Just shows how good she really is. Prior to this, Kabika showed a glimpse of promise, but with her new spectacles, I believe she is set to give us a veritable eyeful. Seeing this has served to stoke the fires within Weedo and Hal, and we may expect much and more from them also. They may be works in progress, but quickly they are taking shape. Ere long, they will become goldsmiths in their own right. From our perspective, they still have far to go, but they now have it in them to craft wares fit to grace shop displays. In anticipation of this, I've been consulting Master Marcel on finding purveyors willing to stock their handiwork. Ours is an unknown name for now, but the day will come when people the realm over gather in droves seeking Crown Gemworks articles. It is to see such a day arrive that we labor. It occurs to me that if the spectacles are to serve as a reference, would Kabika not need to remove them? How would she then carry out the work in that case? I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, if she's, oh well, whatever. Maybe she could use a mirror or something. I don't know. Oh, right you are. Shall we say that this is part of the challenge? It would afford us a little more time to prepare for the next task. Surely they could do something. get that tool equipped. And let's see, last one for this tier is blacksmith. We'll go ahead and push through that before we finish up today. So over to Limsa Lominsa to get that one done. And so tomorrow when we start, we will begin our level 68 crafting quests. All right, let's see what we can get done here with blacksmith in the meantime. Yeah. Depending on how long these stories are, we'll get close to the end of the Crafter's Quests by the end of tomorrow's stream, I guess. Which should put us on target for starting Shadowbringer on Tuesday, since I'm off on Monday. And thanks to you winning that competition, Sekka has become surprisingly bearable of late, and things have been oddly peaceful. That's not to say, however, that ye can rest on your oars just yet. Not too soon before you arrived, we received a rather peculiar request. It's from a man in Kugane named Shinto. He's asking that our best smithy forge him a weapon. Seems pretty standard, right? Well, it's not. It came with one very interesting condition. He's asked that we not mention a word of this to Sekka. Curious, ain't it? Why does he want to remain anonymous, and moreover, how does he know the girl is here? While I don't have the answer to either of those questions, there's one thing I know for certain. You're our best smithy. Our client should be arriving soon, so you best hurry to the docks. Any questions? Good. Now, off you go. You must be the blacksmith Forge Master Brithale promised me. Thank you for coming. Before I make an official request of you, however, please answer me this. Have you ever made a katana before? I'll say no. Is that so? Then this may be a rather demanding assignment. If your Forge Master believes you capable, however, I shall go against my better judgment and nevertheless entrust you with this. What you hold in your hands is a hunk of rusted iron. I would like for you to forge a heavy uchigatana using this. Ah, yes, the look of a skeptic. You do not think it a worthwhile endeavor. I agree it is far from ideal. Had my savings not been lost to unexpected expenses along the way, perhaps I would have been able to provide you with better metal to work with, but alas, this is all I can currently offer. That said, I do not think it by any means an impossible task, especially not for one of your purported talent. If you find yourself struggling, however, feel free to appeal to your colleagues for assistance. From what I understand, one of them is quite knowledgeable on the art of making katana. Be advised, however, not to mention my name should you choose to receive advice from this particular individual. Okay. So off to the anchor yard. Running back out to the ass end of nowhere here. And what brings you here? A hunk of rusted iron brings me here. You have been tasked with forging an Uchigatana from this rubbish. Even the realm's greatest masters would struggle to do so with iron this poor. What idiot would ask such an outrageous thing of you? Keep the client's identity a secret? Yes, I will. If the client has asked that you protect their identity, I suppose you must oblige their wishes. Still, this is absurd. There are so many impurities in this metal that any blade forged from it will be extremely brittle. Should the katana shatter during battle, the wielder's life will be forfeit. To preserve what little durability is present in these brittle hunks, we must refrain from folding the metal too many times. As such, you best make a heavy Uchigatana. While the rust appears to be overwhelming, I think we have enough workable iron to make a full blade. Take half. I shall hold on to the rest in case we need to try again. Okay, well, I'll make it then. Alright, back to Shinto. So, you have returned. Have you finished the Uchigatana that I requested? Here's a high-quality heavy Uchigatana. This blade, it is so rough-hewn, it does not even come close to matching the skill of even the lesser swordsmiths of the Far East. Or at least that is what I would say had I provided you with decent materials to work with. As it stands, the fact that you managed to craft a working Uchigatana from the iron I gave you shows me you are an artisan of surpassing skill. I have witnessed firsthand that your reputation is well-founded. Tell Master Brithael I am satisfied with your performance. Alright, talk to Master Brithael here. Thank the builder you're here. The bloody girl won't stop. She's been chasing me around the shop all day saying, "Please, sir, give me more work," or "Please, sir, I need to practice if I'm ever to become as good as Anne. It's driving me mad." I believe I may have a solution to that. And thank you for humoring my earlier request. Blacksmiths who are as talented and professional as you are hard to come by. But before that, Forge Master Brithael, I believe we have not yet had the pleasure to meet in person. I am Shinto, master of Kugane's largest swordsmith forge. Father, what are you doing here? I am here to take you home. Time and time again I have told you that you will never be good enough to become my apprentice. Sekka, you must clear your head of these foolish notions. We will be going now. You have caused these people and me enough trouble as it is. While I'm not normally one to involve myself in such things, I think you're being a bit too hard on your daughter. Shouldn't you be supporting her dreams instead of tearing them down? She simply does not have what it takes to become a swordsmith. It is time she realized this and looked to pursuing something better suited to her talents, or lack thereof. Sekka, I presume you saw Anne's Uchigatana? While made from a heap of rusted scraps, it demonstrates a skill that far exceeds anything I have seen from you. And to think, the woman does not even have a fraction of the knowledge you do. A decade's worth of practice has amounted to nothing. For you to lecture your daughter on her behavior is one thing, but I will not have you putting her down and worse. Using Anne to do it. Sekka may still have a ways to go before she's a master, but she's got talent and puts in a great deal of effort. Yeah, no kidding, Lily. Tell me about it. Great way to build her confidence there. I don't know who you think you are, but even if you happen to be the finest swordsmith to have ever lived, it still doesn't give you the right to tell a person to abandon their dreams. Forge Master. Setting people up for failure with hollow praise may be your way of doing things, but it's not mine. Sekka, come. I will allow you a few days to come to terms with this. Know, however, that should you disobey me again, you shall be disowned. Father or not, great swordsmith or not, I don't see why you'd ever want to be an apprentice to such a sour or man. Wouldn't you prefer to study under someone who believed in your potential? I grew up watching him work, pounding, pouring, and heating metal with a single-minded focus. Despite his numerous faults as a person, he is an extraordinary swordsmith, and I hope to one day become just as good as him. Lass, if you really feel that strongly about it, we'll help you. The two of us, we may have got off on the wrong foot, but it's nothing we can't put right starting now. Together, we'll think of a way to prove to your father that you're worthy of studying under him. That's right. You would really do that for me? Thank you. Thank you so much. Forge Master Brithdale, I must apologize. I was wrong about you. After seeing you stand up to my father, I now know you are rather chivalrous, brave, and kind. Rather chivalrous, brave, and kind, eh? I suppose she didn't see me in such a favorable light before this, then. But on to more important matters. And let us each take some time to think of ways we might assist the girl and reconvene once we do. Put our new gear on here. Let's see, yeah, level 68. Alright, so we will see how far we can get in the next stream. We've got level 68 and level 70 quests to do. So we'll leave it here for now. I guess I could start with the blacksmith quest next time, and then we'll do the carpenter, weaver, and armor over in Kugane. Alright, well that's it for today. I think I can feel my voice getting a little worn out too. I'm gonna have to drink some more water, it looks like. But I appreciate y'all taking time with me today again on our stream. You could be doing anything you want, and you chose to spend some time with me on this, so I really appreciate that. And I think I'm not gonna bother raiding out today, so go find you another stream to watch, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow if you have the free time. And if you don't see you tomorrow, I'll be back doing more Final Fantasy on Tuesday. But y'all take it easy. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.